Age of Ultron's in there, and Age of Ultron was not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was
stellar
because it was coming off
the strength of the first Avengers.
Yeah, that's why that's there. I think it will. This next Avengers film, depending on how it's received, will go way. Yeah, we'll talk about spot maybe number 3 or 4 spot in worldwide grossing anyway.
I genuinely don't know, because for every time I've booked tickets to watch a film at the midnight first screening, there's always been a plethora of seats, and that's just literally every Star Wars film, every other film, a plethora of seats available.
Yeah.
When I went to book Infinity Wars, there was just about enough seats for me and the guys I'm going with, just about enough, and that was literally there's 3 of us going, and we booked the thing for 4 seats, and that was. It was finding a block of 4 seats. It took over an hour.
Really? Jeez. In fact, yeah, it's because there's another Avengers film coming out next year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like that Avengers film will be the one to probably take.
I don't know.
No, simply because
I've got a Matrix Revelations vibe about that full film.
No, do you know why I don't? Why I really feel it is because right now everybody's feelings is like it's like everybody has a comic book nerd friend who they've spoken to. Oh, what's gonna happen? But what's the Infinity Stones? And then it's like, all right, well, look, Vision might not make it. Doctor Strange, you know what I'm saying? He's got an and it's telling you this person's got an Infinity Stone, they might not make it. This one's got a stone, they might not make it. This one, oh, he might not make it. Well, Captain America, his contract's up, so he might not make it. Oh, you know, in the comic books, well, Falcon and Bucky have both been Captain America. Oh no, it's like
that's why it's kind of like there's multiple ways they could go with it.
Yeah, and because there's so many different ways, you got people who really just don't know.
Vanny, bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
No, I'll just cut it.
Are you just cutting it? Or?
No, I'll cut it and we'll take it from you.
What episode are we in?
Doesn't matter. I don't really know.
Welcome back to Zedos Gang. We are back and stuff.
Nice.
And stuff. I'm here joined with Joe as usual, and we have brought back on the screen, well, for the first time on the screen, Neil Coppin, our resident DC champion.
I'm back.
Yeah.
DC champion, but I'm working on everything.
You're the one waving the flag these days, so you know.
Well, you know, somebody has to, you know.
Yeah, just as as you heard earlier, we were talking about the worldwide grossing of certain films, and it seems that Black Panther has one more week left in the cinema, and domestically in America anyway, it's coming between Titanic and Force Awakens. In terms for the top spot anyway, so this Black Panther's had legs, even through the films that have come out in the past 2 months. So it's a testament to that. It's an eye opener to the world that hey, this depending on no matter what kind of cast you have in it, if the story's good, it will do well. So. That's what I'm happy about. That this film is just actually no. This we're gonna smash all of those preordained thoughts that you'd had about
pre-existing
thought
patterns.
Exactly, and so it smashed it. Again, I was telling my friend. I was with my friend the other day, and he asked another one of my friends if they had seen Black Panther, and they said, "Nah." One of my friends said it was rubbish, and I looked at her and I said, "So you asked one person's opinion, that was it for you?" And I said something else. I said, is it because that the person on the front is not who you would identify as a superhero? He said, no, it's got nothing to do with that. It's just that my friend said it was rubbish, so I didn't see it. Okay, I must meet this friend because your friend must be the oracle of films, because that's
You know, it's weird because some people find it such a they get kind of really tense if you bring up the fact that it's just like, I'm gonna say it, we're on screen, that the main hero of this film is a black guy. You know, they get so tense when you're like, oh, I heard Black Panther was a bad film. Why? Because you don't identify with this person. There's no something to do with that. And I was like, why are you getting defensive? Then just tell me. You know, you heard it was a film you didn't like. Maybe you didn't like it, or the friend didn't like it because it didn't have the level of interconnectivity with the rest of the MCU that you wanted. You know, it's like I get that. You know, there were people who weren't the biggest fans of Captain America: First Avenger because, you know, it's set during World War II. You ain't gonna get Tony Stark in there. You got his dad, but you didn't get him. And certain people weren't really big fans of like Thor 2 because it's set in the realms. It's not just set on Earth. You know, Tony Stark ain't gonna come do a flyby.
But ultimately that film is not about Tony Stark, it's about Thor. So I didn't want to see Tony Stark showing up in every film because it's Tony Stark, and because he started off the universe. It's the film should stand for themselves.
But it is weird though when people are like, oh, I heard it was a bad film, and it's like, but you never hear people saying that about Ant-Man or Doctor Strange or like any of these other solo Marvel efforts that came out alone, no real interconnectivity with.
Oh, I guess that Ant-Man, he fought for the Falcon.
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, put it this way: you think of it, and it's like you've seen. All right, so Black Panther, Ulysses Claw is in there. Ulysses Claw has had his own issues. You've seen him. Interact with other Avengers. So if you say that the two of them had the same interconnectivity, but you never had anybody really saying anything much about those other films where they were solo efforts. You know, I mean, granted, if you think of the solo efforts, and at least you say Guardians of the Galaxy, it didn't need any interconnectivity because it was Guardians.
Oh yeah, of course, Guardians has probably got most.
It did what it did, but.
Well, I mean, again, it's going to the end of that conversation. My friend was trying to argue with her. So how can that be possible? How can you not just make up your own mind about it? No, I'm not going to waste my money on it. So, well,
I would like a couple billion people wasted their money.
Oh no,
I'm just pointing that out.
Sure, yeah. But this is what that was the last statement I made. So look, it doesn't. I told my friend, look, it doesn't really need her to see it anymore because it's made this amount of money. If it hasn't sold her then or now, it's never going to because of her own ignorance. So just leave it. Because he was arguing the point that just go watch it. It's diversely different from anything that you've seen. But she's quite a simple-minded person when it comes to things like this. So. That just saying that would be like wah 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 wah. So I just said, dude, you're fighting a losing battle. Don't bother. Yeah. And she'll either catch it at some point or not. So it's up to her. But okay, next story is this is what I want to talk about anyway. Right. It's Steven Spielberg's doing the next Indiana Jones film. I think he's planning to do that next year, and. He says after this is probably Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones film, and so he said that anything that comes after that, it could be a female protagonist as Indiana Jones or whatever. He just said that in passing. He didn't say that was gospel, but
he just said that. He said that in jest. And the thing I thought was hilarious, like everything on the interweb. He said that in passing as a joke, maybe we'll do this. Like, it was clearly a joke, but the internet has gone nuts and everyone's just jumped onto the female agenda here, isn't it? So,
Well,
Good reporting, guys. Good reporting.
No, it's just the internet. We live in a reactionary world, so it is what it is. But my point of bringing this up was purely because you've established Indiana Jones, one, as a guy, two, as a guy from the 1940s in his main era, or 30s even, and if you're going to do something like that, why just create another character? Don't reinvent Indiana Jones, because you go.
Sorry, the only thing I was going to bring up with that, and it's literally just hit me just now, is if they're saying that the next Indiana Jones could be a woman, the only thing that's catching me is, as a character, his name is Henry Jones Jr. And then I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, doesn't his dad say we call the dog Indiana?
Yes, he does.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then the next Indiana Jones, hey, yeah, she could be a female, and they'll be like, well, your name's Indiana? They'll be like, well, no, my name is Henrietta. My granddad was Henry Jones Jr. And but that's if they're gonna do it. But I hope they don't do it.
They're not going to.
I hope.
I reckon they'll Chris Pratt and just Chris Pratt will be Indiana Jones.
He's so bad as Indiana Jones. There's so many other actors that'd be great. You said that deliberately to me. Say that. No, I love Chris Pratt.
I don't think he could be a
love
bad
Chris
Indiana
Pratt,
Jones.
but I just don't see it. If there's anyone that I could think could play a less Indiana, seriously, no, not Pratt. Unless I'd give him the audition if I was in the power to do so, and if he gave me the best audition out of the bunch, and it was it completely changed my mind, and he completely James Gunned me like he did in the Guardians audition, then I'll be like, okay, you're Indiana Jones. But I've not seen him give a performance that resonates of any kind to make me go, you are Indy.
Not even Jurassic World?
Not even in Jurassic World.
In Jurassic World, his character was vastly different than I expected him to be.
But he wasn't Indiana Jones.
I know, but he wasn't trying to be Indiana Jones. But what I mean is, like, there's nothing that resonates, not even remotely.
No, he wore a hat. He wore a hat. That's it. Okay, like he wore a hat. He knew his shit with dinosaurs. That's great. Like at no point did he resonate that sort of charisma that Harrison Ford has. But like, this is no slight on Chris Pratt. I just don't see it. I've never seen it.
Fair enough.
I've never seen it. But when everyone's like, oh, they're doing Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt, they fucking believe it, and they say it like, no, that's a really good idea. And I'm like, why is it a good idea?
I'll tell you what though, the guy that probably deserves it is the guy that was in that film with Chris Pratt's wife. No, not Chris Pratt's wife. Ryan Reynolds' wife. She goes. She doesn't age or something, or he.
Oh yes.
I can't remember what it's called. Age of Adeline. Something like
Age of Adeline.
Oh, that guy. Well, you know what?
Did you see his script? He's got it down.
He's got no. I've seen Age of Adeline, and I've seen him do his impressions and stuff. Now he does a very, very good impersonation of Harrison Ford. He can't act.
How many films have you seen him in?
I've only seen him in Age of Adeline when he was playing the young Harrison Ford, and again, he can't act. Okay, and
I don't think you can judge someone's ability to act from one performance.
When he's got 20 minutes and it's like, you're the guy.
Yeah, but you got to remember as well. You've got a certain appreciation. You've got a certain appreciation.
He might have gotten better, but you can't. That's not a screen test. That's an impersonation.
I know.
True, but here's what I'm saying to you, right? You've got an appreciation of Harrison Ford, right? Okay.
Even
he's got a look of him that he could like. I can see that and be like, if someone said that's Harrison Ford's son, like, okay, fair enough,
sure,
right?
Of course, but
I agree. I can't judge him from that and say, you could be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, it's really and truly, it kind of falls into the same wheelhouse as any time they recast a character. You think, all right, we're in the age where the next Avengers film comes out in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, if you're going for that same mistake, if you're gonna do Ryan Gosling is going to be Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a Harrison Ford like.
Yeah, but at the same time, saying that, saying that he was quite wooden in Age of Adeline, okay? Because he was. I don't care what anyone says. He was wooden as hell, and I was, you know.
Is that his fault or the director's fault?
It could be a bit extra of both. I don't know. I didn't look at the ins and outs.
Because people are saying the same about Alan Wake as well.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
He can't act, so.
Definitely.
But he can act.
I know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. But acting as Harrison Ford might be a.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically, what I'm trying to say is, I'm basing that off the one performance. Now, on his IMDb, he hasn't done that much.
Right.
Okay. Now, he's a bit too young to be Harrison Ford now.
Of course.
But give it 10 years and give him loads of movies, acting school, and learning off the best.
Who are we talking about?
This guy.
Oh, okay.
He could probably get there.
Yeah, but the whole point was to be young Harrison Ford.
Oh, the young Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but Indy's 35. He's not 21.
He must be right now.
If they're going, unless they're going for a 21-year-old Indiana Jones.
I thought they would go further back and show his older adventures.
Oh, well, like things that happen in between, say, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what happened prior to that.
Before Raiders. I mean,
so in between the first 10 minutes of.
Yeah, I think Temple of Doom would be around Temple of Doom area would be good, because then he'd have a Oriental sidekick being the waiter that gets shot at the start. That's supposed to be his old companion for like many years. And then you could also have like how he meets Shorty, or how you could go back further. I mean, like look at the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. They established that he had a sister that died due to a fever and stuff. They had stuff like what was it? He was in World War One as Captain Lafons because he joined the Belgian army because he wanted to fight. Because he ran away from his dad and his school and stuff. There's loads of stuff they could do, man, with the younger Indiana Jones, you know. But it's about getting cast right. I mean, like, you know what? I actually think River Phoenix was fantastic in The Last Crusade. He even looked like Harrison Ford as well, and like he was just phenomenal, man.
Shame he's dead now.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, hell, I'd give it to Joaquin Phoenix just for the hell of it, because that guy can
Joaquin
act.
Phoenix.
Yeah, man. Joaquin Phoenix can act any fucking character, man.
No, I don't buy that.
You don't buy Joaquin Phoenix? No. You guys are crazy. He's like one of the finest actors on the planet.
As crazy as Chris Pratt being Indiana Jones.
Well, okay, fair enough. Right.
I mean,
But as for women, back to your point, back to the original point, and not who's playing the next Indiana Jones. Back to the original point. Women in film and stuff, just make new characters. Yeah. Don't force them into a box because you're trying to remarket something. And like we've got female Indiana Jones. Her name is Lara Croft. Okay, we're trying to like rejuvenate that franchise at the minute. How about you guys go see it? And it's an alright movie. But you know, I mean, it's an alright movie if you're not a gamer. But it's you know what I mean. There's a female Indiana Jones, or just make a brand new character in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just a brand new character in general. Bam, done. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I think we talked that one quite through. Okay, well, the next story is Mark Hamill absolutely supports digitally de-aging himself, or anyone anyone de-aging him, and so that's springing to mind. You could do Star Wars films now with
Luke Skywalker forever now.
I guess, but
Harrison Ford's like, so I just gotta get scanned. You'll never call me again.
Knowing him, he'll probably do that.
And still manage to get paid for it.
Yeah, he'll probably get paid for it.
Yeah,
because it is his likeness at the end of the day. While he's still alive, anyway. So we'll see, man. But I think that's interesting news. If anyone wants to go back and revisit what he did between 4 and 6 and 7. Yeah. You can do that. I mean, that video game that came out, that kind of does a little bit. Do you think that would be? Because I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing these Star Wars stories anymore. Yeah. It just that news on those films just seems to have like
Vanished, yeah.
Ever
since the Josh Trank movie tanked, that they were like, yeah, that Josh Trank one, that's off the table. They've obviously had to rethink things, but you know what I think they're doing. They're probably just waiting till the films that were announced are out, and then bam. Oh, I reckon we'll hear something after Han Solo, definitely. I mean, we've got little glimmers. I mean, we've got little glimmers and stuff, but back to the point about digital aging and stuff. Yeah. No problem with that. If Mark Hamill's behind it, I'm behind it. Even with Carrie Fisher, I mean, like, for crying out loud, okay? If they CGI Fisher in 9, I don't have a problem with that. I said this before on the podcast, like, ages ago. The family, her brother, her daughter, they're all pro it because they know what Carrie Fisher meant to Star Wars. They know what she means to the fans, and they totally support it. In terms of, I have to touch on the rumor the other week about recasting Leia. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh no, that'll be sacrilege and stuff. Would it though? I don't know whether this is going to be redundant from where we left off, but her daughter, her brother, who are now part of the estate, they've given their blessing regardless. The only thing is, Lucasfilm are too afraid about what the fans think. Like, just make the fucking goddamn movie the best way you can.
Yeah, George Lucas don't care. He just made his films.
Yeah, he just made his film. Just make the best possible movie you can and salvage whatever you can from the last film, you know what I mean? Because we know that's got negative bias. Because I think the worst thing that could happen is that Leia's not there and they write her off in a sentence. She's too big a character to write her off in a sentence, you know what I mean? Oh, she can't make it, she was ill, or you know what I mean?
How do you feel about Meryl Streep playing her?
I don't have a problem with Meryl Streep. I mean, like, look, Meryl Streep is one of the greatest actresses on the fucking planet. Now, more importantly, she's Carrie Fisher's best friend. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of her films a lot of people that don't know, Carrie Fisher was a scriptwriter. She script doctored a lot of movies, rom-coms and stuff, and quite a few of Meryl Streep's own films because they were best buds. And funnily enough, Carrie Fisher was a screenwriter. She wrote and directed a movie called Postcards from the Edge, okay, which is based on her book, and essentially the main character was based on herself, but she didn't act in the film. Meryl Streep acted as Carrie Fisher, and she had all the mannerisms down to the T. So if you're I'm going to say best scenario, they mocap Meryl Streep giving a performance of Carrie Fisher, and that's the best of both worlds. Because if you're going to get someone that knows her intimately like Meryl Streep, and also is fucking Meryl Streep, who is like Anthony Hopkins of fucking women on the planet, or in terms of actresses, you know what I mean, in terms of performance and stuff, she's the best of the best. So, you know what I mean, you'd be crazy to go, oh, fuck Meryl Streep. No, fuck you, fucking fanboys, because, you want, look, unfortunately, it is now bigger than Carrie Fisher now. It's about serving the character for the story, and that character is Princess Leia, and Princess Leia deserves a better send-off than just being written out by, oh, she just went to Coruscant or something. You know what I mean? She can't attend this movie. You know what I mean?
Or Naboo.
Or you know what I mean? Like, it would be dumb. You know what I mean? And even if it was just a cameo where it was just a CGI person, no problem with that either. So long as we get closure to that character and their story, and it's written well, and the last part, written well, is what it's about. Because we don't, these guys have been like. Obviously, these guys have been thinking about this for the past 2 years, which is longer than we have, because she died last year. You know what I mean? No, the year before. So do you know what I mean? They've redone the script like 3-4 times now. You know what I mean? Over this issue. So it's not like they're not thinking shit up. You know what I mean? They've had ample amount of times to write the episode 9 script. So they knew what The Last Jedi would be like. So, you know what I mean? Now they're just gauging the response to The Last Jedi and just trying to make that fit with whatever plans they already have. Fair enough, there's the whole thing that, they're making shit up as they... Well, they may...
Well, they are making stuff up as they go.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, we know that JJ had a plan for... he had a plan for where it should go if there were 3 of them. So now that JJ's back, maybe he's reverting back to that plan and seeing what he can salvage to make things work out, because that's what I would do as a director.
I really would have liked to have seen Colin Trevorrow's vision of that.
Oh, definitely. But I think he probably fundamentally disagreed with
that's
Ryan Johnson.
I mean, it kind of came out over the past few months that's what it essentially was.
Yeah, because he wanted to use Luke.
Yeah,
he wanted to use Luke. I mean, like, you know what? I would want him to use Luke, but I'm kind of glad I'm glad that that's why he left.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was fired.
Well, no. I think they left because of creative differences. I wouldn't say he was fired. I think he honestly probably said, "Look, that's not the story I want to tell. That's not really. Maybe I'm not the best person for the job. You guys, good luck. Hope it works out." But he probably lost the passion, because if he doesn't get to play with Luke Skywalker, why do the movie at all? I mean, I'd probably feel the same a little bit, you know, especially if I had great plans for Luke Skywalker. But at the same time, you know, he's landed on his feet. He still has a good relationship with those guys because, you know, Kathleen Kennedy is the producer of the Jurassic Park films. You know what I mean? She's not hands-on with Jurassic World, but her husband is. He's been rehired back to do the third installment, which I'm surprised at, because I would have thought they would have got another director. But considering he co-wrote the screenplay for this current one,
and that film was like the fourth highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but, I mean,
so you know, Trevorrow's going to do okay. You know what I mean? He's going to bounce back from what's it? What was the film
Book
called?
of Henry.
Book of Henry, which isn't a bad film, I didn't think.
No, I didn't think it was bad either.
I watched it. I didn't think it was as bad as they slagged it off. But so we'll have to see, man.
It was a vastly different film. It's a bizarre concept.
Yeah.
First of all, and it's weird here and there, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. So, I don't know. But I mean, from that, I don't really have much to say other than if Luke Skywalker's given his blessing to de-age himself, then use that. Use him in as many films as they can, and I'd say they should do the same for Leia. If they can get to look like 2049, then
man, if they make the CG like how they did Rachel in Blade Runner 2049, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would.
But then I think CGI with digital actors is getting better and better. Ever since, for me, I think not Iron Man, Civil War, that was a standout when they had young Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And also, I think one of the best ones was Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I mean, that was Snake Plissken right there. So,
yeah, that was really good.
That was really fucking good, man. That was some of the best. And you know what?
I couldn't even tell.
Well, you know what was really funny?
I could tell because I know how old he is.
Russell is. Yeah. But I mean, one of the best story about that was that they had Kurt Russell and his makeup artist that worked with him since, like, you know, back in the day, like fucking Escape from New York days and stuff. He just basically, you know, that guy has worked with him with every single fucking movie he's done. So who knows his face better than Goldie Hawn fucking does, probably. But, like, that guy de-aged him with practical makeup. And then, you know, then the Disney guys looked at him and they're like, fuck, he looked really fucking young. So that helps. Whenever you have something physical against something digital and you merge the two, that's always going to give the best results. And that's literally what they did there, man. And like, he looked like he was ready to do Escape from New York, like 5 or 6 or something. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, I can't remember. I think it was Framestore that did a lot of the work, but it's a good job all around. So that did Rachel. I mean, so whatever works. If it looks good, it looks good. So as far as I'm concerned, if they could do that with Leia, then yeah, do it. But yeah, we'll go into the next story, which is Woody Harrelson is rumored to play Carnage.
Yeah, for those just joining in, welcome to the Zedos Gang podcast. We're doing a Facebook Live with a couple of questions. If you guys want to tune in on who you think should play Carnage rather than Woody Harrelson, throw them up and we might answer some questions. But anyway, sorry for bad camera angle because I'm like doing the filming. There's my face. But anyway, so Woody Harrelson.
Do you think he's a... I thought of... not that I don't mind Woody Harrelson, but he's I don't know. I would have gone with Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Interesting. He'd be good.
Because he's got that really unstable kind of dynamic in some of his characters.
I don't know. You know what? I quite like Woody Harrelson. You know what? When they said Woody Harrelson to me, I was fine with it.
I'm fine with it as well.
Yeah.
But someone that would immediately fit to me is Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know what? I was looking at some of the chat boards on like a couple of websites and stuff, and it's something I used to think, because they used to draw him like Jim Carrey in the 90s. The character.
That's too crazy.
Yeah, but that would never happen. You know, that would never happen. I always thought Quentin Tarantino would make a good Cletus Cassidy at one point. But you know what? When you say someone like Woody Harrelson, I think that fits the bill personally. But you know what? I never thought of that Sam Rockwell. But you know what? I can see where you're going with that. So.
Yeah, I mean, because again, I think Sam Rockwell just has a. They've got something with that, due to the fact that he can play it straight but play mad, and he can play so many different roles. Or who's that guy that was in Justified, that used to oh my God, what was his name?
Timothy Oliphant.
Yes, Timothy
Oh man,
Oliphant.
but Timothy Oliphant, man, you know what? Put that guy in something big, man, because like I've liked that guy ever since the movie Go. Okay, and The Girl Next Door. He's fucking amazing, man. And like, they gave him They gave him the Hitman movie, and you know what? I felt he played a good Agent 47. Just the movie was bollocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, he's such an underrated actor. He should be in so much more stuff. I mean, like shit. Yeah, you know what? He would be a perfect. He could probably play a really good Cassidy. The only reason why I say not Sam Rockwell is if this is connected to the MCU, which we still don't know whether they will or whether they won't, or whatnot.
Or if what's his face turns up in it, it's definitely connected to.
Yeah, if Tom Holland does show up, then yeah. But I mean, we'll have to see. But that's the only reason, because obviously Sam Rockwell's Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, so. You know, unless they make him look completely different and he just gives a stellar performance, I guess you can.
When does Carnage Venom come out? Is it this year?
Yeah, I do believe it's this year, yeah.
Because the only thing I'm thinking about, if let's say in this Avengers film that they do go out and have that secret war somewhere, and then that symbiote's stuck in him, and then he takes it to a lab, and then that lab experiments on it, and then that leads to this story. Which, I don't know. That's a really long step.
Well, yeah, because like he gets in the comics. In the comics he gets. Well, this is the thing. This is the Infinity War. Secret Wars is another storyline, but I could see where they'd link the two if they were going to do that. I mean, like it makes perfect sense. I mean, like they've introduced the Iron Spider outfit, but they designed it with a big giant fucking spider on him. You know what I mean? And the Iron Spider in the comics, the logo weren't that big, but like, do you know what I mean? They could easily like adapt it, I guess, to have him get the symbiote maybe, but I don't know, man. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, again, I've got no problem with Woody Harrelson. It's just that it was a nice. It's actually a nice surprise, purely because I didn't expect to see Carnage in this film. But if it's going to be anyone, Woody Harrelson can pull it off.
I kind of did. If you're going to do a standalone Venom movie, the whole point why Venom kind of goes off alone and has his own spin-off comic and series in the first place is because of the inclusion of Carnage. You got to understand, like, once Carnage takes over, Eddie Brock takes it upon himself to, like, sort out all the fucking symbiotes, because Carnage is not the only symbiote out there. There are multiple symbiote villains and shit. So like he's like fighting them and all that shit. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next story is I guess well, this is something I want to talk about. So the Alien Covenant sequel. I'm not sure what the sequel name will be, but so far it's always been. So if you don't know what Alien Covenant is, it was a sequel to Prometheus. Prometheus is set in the Alien universe. Ridley Scott wanted to go back to a particular time to show you what the engineer or the alien that came out of the the thing that was originally chest bursted, and he's gone and done that, and I would say quite convincingly, in the sense that he set these creatures up to, they're more what's the word to say, they're more mysterious than when you just saw them in Alien, because you didn't even know what they were in Alien. Even though that you've seen them, they're still quite mysterious because you don't know what their end game was. And that planet that they went to in Covenant wasn't the engineer's planet. That was another planet that they seeded life on. Right. And so it's in a storyline that kind of, I don't know where Scott's going with this, because this last one will be the end game, to where it meets up with Alien and then splinters off into doing something else while leaving the original Alien franchise to itself. And so this is why I feel that he can do anything with this. And so the fact that he's able to do this, even because the last film didn't do as well as Prometheus did, and out of all of the Alien films, Prometheus has made the most money. Yeah. And so if you look at that, I mean, in regards to the Alien films that were released before, Alien the Alien franchise never made that much money. Yeah. And so it's only until Prometheus that, oh wow, it made 400 million, and I mean 400 million for that type of film, you wouldn't immediately say that's a lot, purely because of how much films make these days. But because it's the highest grossing in the Alien franchise, that gave him kind of not a blank check to make a second one, but because of what the film that he had kind of a resurgence, and so Ridley Scott had a resurgence on making films, that gave him kind of okay, well, this film did well, you can go do your Alien Covenant film now. And so I don't know what's gained him to do this one, or even if he will direct this one. I don't know if he will.
I think he will, because I mean, like, he's been championing this torch for fucking ages, hasn't he? So, I mean, oh god, I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, like, Alien Covenant, it had like a lot of mixed reactions, really. Mm-hmm. I know you really love the movie. You and Leo. I
don't really love the movie, but it's because there's an end game that I don't. In order for me to really love that Covenant, I need to know what happens in this last film. Right. Okay. Because David, this is a film that was clearly about AI. Yeah. And even at the right at the front of the film, the start of the film, he says, okay, he says to Wayland that, well, you're going to die, I'm going to outlive you, that means I'm superior to you, so what do I do when you die? And Wayland did not like that at all, and he knew he'd outcreated himself, and so it's that only once David, because he's AI, and once David had that thing about that, let's see where this goes. And even through that whole first film, Prometheus, that whole prequel film, he was just experimenting with that whole crew.
He was just a fucking crazy man. You know what? No wonder people don't trust robots on fucking, like, aliens and fucking you know what? And now they're talking about putting aliens out. No, fucking... Robots out in society doing fucking crazy shit.
Hey dude, there's a backflipping robot. There's a
backflipping robot. There's a fucking robot that gallops like a fucking horse in real life. Like, I saw that YouTube video and that scares the shit out of me. And that was 10 years ago. Could you imagine that technology now?
What about the raptor ones? The ones that open doors?
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. We're going to get killed by robots in like 40 years time. Hopefully I'm dead and I'm not about to be battered by one. But it's going to be like the second Renaissance.
Oh yeah, probably.
It's gonna be like that. We're gonna have like a robot butler, and he's gonna lose his shit and kill his fucking master, and then that thing's gonna go to court because some fucking guy's gonna be like, no, he has rights, mm-hmm. and the robot's gonna go to court, and then there's gonna be an uproar. And that's going to be the end of the world.
Well, I mean, considering your end of the world scenarios, that's one out of many.
I would like to make that as a short film, a court drama about a robot that killed his master.
Okay,
that'd be crazy.
Sure.
The whole end game is to decide whether the robot actually is a sentient being.
Ooh, that's a I'm done with. I'm kind of done with Ripley. So I don't know. Whoever picks that up again, depending on what happens in this film, or if Disney or Fox or whatever is going to happen with that deal.
It's a regime change now. I mean, like Fox are, well, it looks like they're selling up to Disney. They've got 18 months. It's a big, long 18 months process, so anything can happen. But they kind of give like Ridley Scott like a blank check almost, because Disney.
Well, he's doing a film for Disney already, so he's kind of re-upped himself. So I'm going to do this for you, but you've got to let me do my thing.
Yeah, and his thing's Aliens. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, well, that's the thing. I mean, like he's in a perfect position. He's really fucking Scott, and like can do anything he wants really. And it doesn't matter how many bad films he gets. Like, look, he took a hit with Covenant, okay, but then he went and did fucking All the Money in the World like this Christmas and pulled it out the bag, and that was a good movie. And like, Oscar nominated. Did Plummer win the Oscar?
No.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. And so, frankly enough, this has gone into production now. So we'll get to see the back end of what will happen in that part of the Alien universe, or the Prometheus prequel of that Alien universe. Anyway, so man, I'm happy for it. I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw a Predator in there, which is highly doubtful. Do you think that he would probably stick to his plan, because he said he was going to do like another 9 or 6 films or something, or do you think? I think he's going to let someone else. I think he'll let someone else.
So you think he'll be a producer?
I think he wants to do this last film, personally do this last film, and then just leave it be, because he would have already set things up in motion, and he may even revisit the universe in a different way, in just exploring whatever he sets up in this third film, in this prequel era. He'll do something else which will be connected to that universe, but not that universe. I mean, that's what he was trying to do with Prometheus, and so, but it just ended up backdooring into Alien. So because people are still clearly into Alien, so why not try to do something like that? So we'll see how it goes. Good luck to Mr. Scott, and if there's anyone that's banking for it to do well, it's me. So good luck to him, man. On that note, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No. Does anyone want us to talk about shit? Anyone want to message us who's actually watching on this Facebook chat thing? Someone mentioned something earlier. Let's have a look. Any thoughts on Pacific Rim?
I haven't seen this new one, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, you know what? I quite like the new Pacific Rim. Okay, here's the thing. All right, it wasn't AAA. It's not like the first movie. But
I heard it's a bit like Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's very much like Power Rangers, as in the movie Power Rangers, and not the TV show Power Rangers. But
that vein entirely. It's got that aesthetic. It's not as gritty as Guillermo made it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was disappointed that Ron Perlman wasn't back, but there's a few characters that make it back, and the action is really well directed, and the action photography with the giant Jaegers looked really, really good. That was one of the failing things with the first one, I felt, but that was because they were trying to keep it as realistic as possible. So there's light, when they turn down the lights in CGI fights, so it looks more real and stuff, and give it atmosphere. They did that with the original, where all the fighting with the giant robots was in the nighttime, whereas in this one it was during the day, and the CG looked really good, but then it had a different aesthetic, in the way it looked visually, and the fights were really good, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was funny. It didn't really have that much character depth compared to the original. I tell you what, Scott Eastwood, that guy's a clone, man. Because, like, I know it doesn't sound like Clint in real life, but it was like they turned around to him and said, hey, sound like Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
So he did the best Clint Eastwood impersonation, and he's more or less looking like the next Wolverine in that movie. Like, literally. Just like, okay, I see what they're trying to do here.
John Roker would disagree with you.
Well, John Roker chats a lot of shit. I mean, he thought Transformers fucking 4 was amazing. So yeah, I like the guy on podcasts and stuff, but sometimes he comes out with some fucking gold, man. Like, what did he see in Transformers 4? I don't know.
Hey man, you're better than me. I can't stand whenever he's on Movie Talk now. I don't bother watching it. But this is not the John Roker show.
Yeah.
Again, Pacific Rim, it's making its money worldwide. So it's for a worldwide audience more than an American audience.
Yeah.
So it's definitely they'll probably, if they're gonna make another one, it's definitely not for the Americans, it's for the worldwide audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it, because I haven't seen it. Yeah, you done? Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yes.
Well, that's the podcast. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but it happens sometimes. I hope to iron those out over the coming weeks. But I hope you can bear with this edit, because it's going to be a weird one. Sach, where can we find you?
You can find me on SashMan3 on Twitter, or check out my YouTube, Sacha Allari, and check out my short films.
Yeah, and you can find this podcast on Zedos Gang, YouTube, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and SoundCloud, and at some point DTube, and a few other platforms that I'm going to experiment with. But yeah, until then, this has been the Zedos Gang podcast, and we're out.